Because of who I am, just like, say, my physical aperture, Mercury conjunct Uranus. I don't do astrology, I am astrology. So I'm here to report how that Jupiter in Aries on February 11th, or it may have happened now at 11:49 p.m., February 10th, that Jupiter is moving out of its retrograde shadow. This means it's going into territory of Aries that it has never been yet in its whole time of having reset into the zodiac's cycle, going back into number one, which is Aries. And so I'm really feeling it. And I'm pretty sure it's going to light a fire underneath humanity's ass. For me, it's a very personal issue of maintaining my, Aries is very staunch in just being loyal to their values, and they don't really put on a shabby game when it comes to, say, their love, and say, it's kind of contradictory too, really, because the Aries man, and a lot of people don't like Aries, especially, the Aries man I find impossible. I do. Because it's Mars ruled, and Mars is the narcissist of astrology. I mean, it's just getting a really bad rap, but there is narcissism. Every sign has its really negative traits that is egoic, and that's what narcissism is pointing at, is the mind having gone south with its whole sense of self, which is a false thing, that it's putting up, masking something that just perhaps not established at all, which is kind of illusory. That people don't know that. It's like, well, no, there's not really anybody there at all. But Aries is getting, okay, it's just because, it's classic, because that's just what it means. It's, if you look at it, humanity rises up and says, I am, and then it's shot down. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm not a narcissist. I'm just saying I'm here. I have a right to be here. Like, as if when an eagle just sets off into flight and flies, you don't stop that process of the I am, which is the birth of the living child, the kids, you could say, is. How about that? Can we be here? But it's not always just about that I'm here. It's, what is the quality of it being here, right? That's where Taurus comes in, who is Venus ruled. There's Mars and then there's Venus. And all of that polarity is very questionable. There is a highly suspected, it's highly suspected that things have been reversed. Things are reversed. Yeah, Libra could be the first sign, which says, I love, and I'm the selfless, and I'm in realization of the other by the time, I'm in realization of the other until I get to the 7th house, which we say is Libra, but it would be Aries when I'm talking about if it was reversed, who says, no, I am, and that is all there is as one. You see, that right now the evolution of human consciousness says, well, we start out as we knowing that we are one, I am, and then we go through this journey and we figure out, no, actually there's another. And that's like, no, okay, yeah, we find out that it's an illusion. And then when we know that it's an illusion, we have more compassion and we can love each other. That's where, to handle it, Libra says, I love. Libra says, I just don't have an ego about it. There's somebody else there. How could I think of myself when there's all this other relationship happening? Aren't I involved with that, and aren't we involved? And the answer is yes. And how do you like my shirt that I'm wearing, completely discombobulated? You know how the coat hanger, it's made out of silk, I guess. Um, it's itchy. It's orange. It's the color of Jupiter. And anyway, it's made in India. A woman gave, a girl gave it to me. She when she was a little girl, she bought all his clothes in India, and I guess I'm fitting him just fine. You know, she gained a little weight, but nope, a little bit short, right? God, thanks for listening to that fucking gig. Me, with the Jupiter on my ascendant at 6 degrees it was, but now it's rushing through 8. It's at 8 degrees. It's going to move out of its retrograde shadow, and there is a real plague on the planet concerning these non-self-reflective, just completely non-human entities, babe. And if you want to know my story behind saying babe, and it's really where this comes from, this terrible habit that I don't really get in these habits, really. I can break them. But not with Pluto sitting on my Mercury. Now let's talk about where Mercury in the sky is conjuncting Pluto this weekend, probably happening now, where I can't contain myself. I have to talk about all of these deep things and wrap up the Earth's and everybody's the cure to mankind's problems. Just 5 minutes here. You know, let's look at it first and then work it through. um, when Mercury goes through this Pluto thing, which is I can feel it, you have to work through this subconscious crap. Like I said, I am not doing astrology, I am astrology, so I'm here feeling it. Now, it's just ringing through the air how that, okay, so Mercury is conjuncting Pluto, and then it's going to move forward ahead of Pluto and go into Aquarius. But, you know, that, it's got to go through this Pluto session, which is, Pluto is the planet of soul transformation, of change, because it's like the container of truth. I mean, I call Pluto God. I've always known Pluto as being the guru, and the guru in India, they call God the guru. God is the address of God over there, sitting on the towel under the sun, hardly wearing any clothes. If you know, I mean, that's not all gurus are like that. You know, Osho. You know, there's Eckhart Tolle. Everybody's a guru. If they have some kind of level of truth that they are able to radiate back at us, that it's, if we went to that experience and then we sat and listened to them, we would say, yeah, that's it, bingo, I was right there. So we're going to be, just this Mercury thing is going to press humanity through this freaking, like this press, like this, like it just, like we're a bunch of garlic or something going through, and then spice it up, baby. You know, we've got to get, it's like, you know, it is a purging. Pluto tends to purge things. That's why we're worried about Pluto going into Aquarius, which I'm cracking a smile because it's like, yay! You know, it's the end of days. It's the end of your days. It's the end of the DAZE. Wake up. If you knew where your real life was, you would understand how even scripture is just never going to help us. Nope. There is a way to write scripture, which I've found downloaded by benevolent beings who live here and in outer space. I was chosen to relay this information, and I know a lot of people think that it's nuts, and it's like, nope. I know what I'm seeing. If you want to understand something a little deeper about our language, the English language in particular, I mean, you just have to know verbiage, know your vocabulary. That's why they picked me. That's what's happening now, too. Some people know this about the intergalactic alliances, that it's all part of it. I do like my style. I just ran out of hot water. I noticed I didn't have any hot water yesterday, which is unfortunate because I did some yard work, but I can focus, and I heat water on this thing. It's the more I focus about it and do it, it's just sad. I don't have any help. I'm having fun here trying to help me do this stuff. I mean, not help me, but ah. See, that's my issue right now is that particularly, you don't give your energy away to people that aren't reciprocating into you enough. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. Aries tends to put 110% in. When they are all in a relationship or when they're working or something, they decide. I mean, it just rules the will. Mars is the will. It's the man. It's the will of man that just says, who has done it? They are doing it. They're not going to think about it first. They just jump, and people think they're stupid until they make it, and then they're courageous. They know why to be brave. It's what all of the movies, and that's what's awakening now with Jupiter. It's going to inflate the fire that for me, because it does go over my ascendant, but it happens to oppose my Mars. It's going to do an opposition to my Mars, which I'm Mars ruled. We're talking about the Mars thing. So in like a week or so, it's gonna trek right through, man. It's gonna take only like a month and a half to go all the way through. Well, in May it goes into Taurus, so it's a couple months that it just runs right through Aries. It's unbelievable. But you could look forward to Jupiter going into Taurus, which is going to exaggerate our sense of the quality of who we are. And I'm talking about the tippy top quality, because that's what Taurus deals with. It says, excuse me, that's shit. This is the better stuff. This is why is this a better experience and why are we blissed out? It's because we did it right the first time and we're not going to do it again. We have a big issue right now of that not happening. And that's what the new earth is all about. As far as what's not happening is find out what works and stick with it. Stop selling us all of these different versions, and nobody figures out, actually you're buying a toy there. You have to pay a few $100s more to get the thing that's not going to let you down. And, because you're an artist and you need the right tool and the right quality thing. It's everything. That's what we're going back to. The new Earth, that's what the Uranus and Taurus is all about. It's a sensational thing that Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, is in the evolutionary challenge. That's the challenge for Aquarius. Aquarius doesn't understand Taurus very well. It's like, oh, damn. We have to think about grounding ourselves. I thought we were just going to start floating into outer space and we're going to put a pub up there and have a neon fucking... That's where all the Aquarians went. Do you know any Aquarians right now? What are they doing? They're preparing for fucking Pluto to absolutely pummel their fucking asses. I'm telling you. I have Moon in Aquarius, and I'm going to be dealing with Pluto conjuncting my Moon, and I'm okay with Pluto. I'm okay with all of these process of life. See, if you're going through life on the lower vibrational frequency, you're going through hell. You're not having fun in this life. It's like this process of life doesn't have to be so miserable. And, because you're miserable, you have to pull everybody else down into it or something. No, the saying goes, pull people into your peace. If you've really found something, share it. But unfortunately, people are contagion. That's how it really goes, right? And boy, there's people that are dehumanizing each other and not even knowing it. If you're hanging on to your fucking narcissist, then you're going to feel just desolated. You're always going to feel isolated and alone because there's nobody there. And they're locked in just me, 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 me. So you have to just, okay, do I have, it's the same as babysitting, I guess. It's just like set yourself aside and diaper these people up and give them their attention. Thanks for listening. Point being is that Jupiter is moving out of its retrograde shadow. I'm Aries rising with all this Mars activity. It's going to be and it's just lighting up. It's just like you need to let the cosmos run through your entire body and move with the will of God, because that's precisely what it is.